Yo, it's Jimmy Trigger, episode 7 of the Triggerman podcast you are listening to right now in your ear holes. This week I have a fellow musician and fellow foreigner from Down Under, my friend Ronnie and his girlfriend Siobha, who weirdly enough has Irish ancestry and knows more about Ireland probably than me, even though I am from there. Weird. It was a great conversation, our views on living in America and being musicians here and just general nonsensical opinions and shit. So sit back, relax. This is the Triggerman podcast. For me. And impromptly and unprofessionally, we have started the Triggerman podcast episode 7.
All right.
Over enthusiastic as always. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, animals, children of all ages. My cat Steve at home. Hi.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah, there you go.
I love you, Steve.
Yeah. Hey, leave my fucking Steve out of this. Yeah. No, I don't know how to ever start these things, so I just fucking start them. Like so. So we just started like whenever I said we started, and I'm pretty sure it's recording. So I'm pretty confident about that. Jesus, let me check. Paranoid. It is recording and my voice is huge. Awesome, everything is going. And yeah, so we're back in. I did the very first Triggerman podcast here nearly 2 months ago with a guy called Mike Santoro and Bob. And so we're in Casa de Bob, the Brass Knuckle Liberals house. And Bob invited us into his home today to let us use it and have a chat and blah blah blah. And actually, that's how I met you anyway originally. Like True Bob, there you go, yeah. So, and the connection, I guess, or the reason I have you on is just like, as well as being a musician, you have a funny haircut just like me. It's fabulous. I'm more interested in, you're actually a foreigner like myself, so I'm from Ireland, in case anyone doesn't know, again, every fucking time. Where the fuck is that guy from? You're actually from Australia, so in your own language, g'day mate, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. You don't sound Australian. Yeah. I'm from the city.
Yeah. We were just talking about that before we started. And then, so this is Ronnie and Ronnie's girlfriend with a good Irish name, Irish dad, Indian mom, red hair, white skin. So that's pretty fucking Irish as far as I'm concerned. And a good name as well. Like, her name is Siobha, S-I-F-A-D-A, O-B-H-A-N, right?
Yeah.
Or is it the
no,
fad
I've
on
got
the
the
A?
on the A.
God damn it.
Close.
Fuck, I failed Irish. Don't worry about it. Like, so. And just so I like to educate while we're here. Actually, people at home in Ireland have been listening as well, which is really cool. And it's my mother watches this, which is fucking weird. My mom watches this.
Mom.
Subtitles.
Mom.
My mom. Me ma.
Mammy.
Me
Mammy.
mammy. Me mammy is watching this now. How are you going, ma? And she's just always curious to what's going on. And it's a cool way for them to like see what's going on in my life. And
well, it's an insight when you're abroad. That's part of being away, is you know.
And that's the reason why I want to talk to you. We were just talking when you were getting coffee as well, like the idea of being, because even the caption for the podcast is like, I don't even say my name. I just go, Irish guy, full stop, living in America, full stop, talking to people.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I'm like going, all right, because it's like, I don't know about you, but for me, even when Ma said it to me, I was talking to her like a few months ago. She goes, she was talking to my girlfriend on the phone. Because they talk more than I talk, which is upsetting, but whatever. So, and she was like, well, it was always James's dream to live in America, and he's always what? I'm like going, was it? I don't know. I didn't remember that at all, but I guess so, because as we were talking just a second ago, I grew up listening or watching Crocodile Dundee movies, and dude, fucking Home and Away. Please say it.
Oh, no.
Did you watch Home and Away?
No.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
We avoided that.
Yeah.
Neighbours.
Neighbours is shit. Like, so fuck Neighbours. But Home and Away, like, that was like an institution.
To my friends that are on it, I'm really sorry. Like,
you have friends on Home and Away?
Well, they were on it, but yeah.
Oh, so...
Wait, well, Home and Away, it's like a training ground for a lot of... So many Australian actors start off on those shows, cut their chops, and then come here,
so
and
let's explain it. The Home and Away is... We don't need to look at that. I'm just looking over just to make sure it's still recording. Yes, you can intently watch the thing. But Home and Away is basically it's a soap opera in Australia, but is it part of BBC or something, or Australian televised network?
Channel 7.
Yeah, but so it's like there's a British Australian connection, which is very.
All I know is that the British are obsessed with our soap operas, and like the first time I went to England as a kid, I was like, because then you first see Coronation Street and
Yeah,
EastEnders and all
garbage.
stuff like, wow, they have this crap too.
Yeah,
and like, wow, they really like it. Oh.
Yeah, no, all right, cool.
Like, but
in Australia, it's like I think it's probably one of the biggest soap operas, right? Is that, I don't know. Well,
Neighbours.
Neighbours and Home and
Neighbours
Away.
Home and
Neighbours
Away.
and Away.
They're
Sorry,
the
my
two
phone.
rivals. It was just
But yeah, and
And they've been running for such a long
forever.
time.
Well, that's how Kylie Minogue started. Her career started on
and
that.
Danny Minogue.
Danny
Let's not
Minogue.
forget them all. But when I was a child, it was on at 6:30 every day, Monday to Friday, since I was like a baby. So
Same.
I
It
grew
was
up with
6:30
it.
p.m.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd be on right for The Simpsons.
Ah,
Yeah,
The
and like the
Simpsons,
funny
yeah.
thing is, what most Americans don't know is like the guy like that plays Thor, Hemingworth or Hemming something or
Oh, there's Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. Like
Or is it
Thor
his
guy,
brother?
there's the blonde chick in not in Terminator, in Transformers and all these other movies she was in, like the hippie girl from Home and Away.
And the chick in...
Ali G, Borat's wife was on Home and
Yeah,
Away.
it's
Asa
it's
Fisher,
a
yeah.
training
Yeah.
ground for a
Yeah.
lot of Australian
Yeah,
actors
and all these
actresses,
Australian
yeah.
actors then come over here and they put on the American accents like, oh man, he's so awesome. Like, fuck you. I watched him as like a teenager, skinny boy with a surfboard on this fucking shitty soap opera. It was like watching them growing up, and then one night, did you ever play pool with us up in Brickyard, or did you ever play? No. Well, me and Bob, there's a pool hall in Hollywood, and we go play pool. And we were there one evening, and it was just so weird. It's normally just a few people, but we have our own table, and we'll play and just whatever. And then just these like really, really attractive like men and women, like both, like a group of them came in, and I was like, why are they all so good looking? Like, this is weird. Like, I'm just like, they're really, really, really attractive people. Like, the dudes, I don't care. Like, I'm not fucking, I don't care what you are. Like, so the dudes were really fucking good looking, girls were really good looking, and they came in, and then they all started, like, we were playing pool, and they talking, how you get this not fucking be mate, and blah, 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 and like, the accent,
You're
I'm
like,
like,
of course they're Australian.
yeah, they're Australian. So I was like, oh, fuck, they're Australian. And then I was like playing, and I'm looking over going, do I know these people? Did I meet these? Ah, never mind. Kept playing. Fucking 2 hours go by, we're battling each other in pool, me and Bob and whoever else is there. And then a fucking light bulb goes off. Dude, it's the cast of Home and Away. It's like the cast of Home and Away from like a few years ago. Right. But they're older, and like they're
out
bigger,
here
and
they're trying the Hollywood thing. And
they're testing their chops or whatever like that. And I was going, like, and I know you're probably the same. Like, you know, like a lot of musicians and stuff in Hollywood, and like you probably bumped into it. Dude, you're in a band with a famous musician, right? Correct? Am I wrong? Which we will talk about. That's really, I didn't know that, by the way. That's really interesting. And I meet like famous like musicians or sometimes some actors, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, cool. Like, I met Kiefer Sutherland once, and that's the only person I was like, you know what? I walked up to him. He was drinking beside me in a bar, and I turned around, bumped into him, and was like, sorry. He looks at me, he goes, no problem. And I went, and I went, you're that guy, aren't you? And he goes, I am. And I was like, we'll have to get a picture before you leave. And he goes, no problem. Turned out we just had a chat, and he was the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
That doesn't really happen. But musicians, whatever. We're all in the same world. I'll see you again. I just not that interested. UFC stars to me, or like rock stars to me. I love UFC.
Right.
But I was so tempted to go up to the Home and Away people and be like, dude, just can I get a picture with you?
They would have loved it.
But the thing is, they were just nonchalantly
it's
like.
funny because Aussies we have that thing called tall poppy syndrome in Australia, where
What's
it's
that?
like, people don't want to. It's really hard to celebrate success in Australia. It's really we have a really working class ethic all through our culture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like it's the exact opposite of the American dream. So you'll notice a lot of Australians when they come here, they're very timid and they'll generally be shy and kind of soft spoken. And it's yes, Americans are really loud and larger than life, and that's one of the reasons I love it here.
Yeah.
But it takes a while as an Australian to adjust, because the way we're raised in our culture is, no matter how big you are, you have to be down to earth.
Yeah, you have to play it down.
You have to play it down, and a lot of it, and it's something that part of our culture I actually don't agree with, and I think we could do away with, is the self-deprecating in the way to show you humility. Like, I'm not that great. And it's if you don't do that, it's like you get ripped on. So the moment something becomes successful, people are like,
I'm very much guilty of that, and it is actually, I don't even know if it's the same thing, but it's like, I remember in Ireland, it's like kind of like everyone's allowed to be, if you're part of a group, or like, and you're like, we have a hurling game, like a sports game, like it's called hurling, like football here or whatever. It's hilarious. That's so funny. Like, it's great. Like, if the whole town is involved and the team is involved, it's great. Like, but if one guy goes off and does something fucking great for himself, it's like, who does your man think he is?
It's like, oh, you're too
Yeah.
good for us now.
Yeah,
You
I
think
was
you're special, huh?
No, it's just I had to
You're
go fucking.
And with the Australians that work in the industry out here, it goes one of two ways. Either the team analogy is perfect.
Yeah.
It's like either you're flying the flag for the country and
Yeah.
everyone's going like, go, do it. But if you leave, for example, as they'd view prematurely,
Yeah.
as in, oh, you think you're better than us?
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, it's not good enough here.
And the answer is
And-
yes, I do. What?
But you got to say it quietly.
Yeah, it's like,
yes, I do. Yeah.
like, well, I'm really, really proud of this hard work I work
and
with.
the-
It's
but
like,
the-
oh, how dare you?
Yeah, but there's the thing. It's that forced humility. Because I'm a big advocate of like being humble. You have to be down to
Oh,
earth.
definitely.
And honestly, like living because we're in LA, we're in West Hollywood right now. When you're in the mecca of like the entertainment industry or music industry or something, I've got like my let me see what's the right word, not ego, because I don't like to practice ego, but I've had humility beaten into me in strange ways that I'm like, Jesus, like this is going to be a lot harder than I thought it was.
Likewise. Moving here was the best thing for my ego, so to speak, ever, because it shot it dead in its tracks.
Yeah, it's-
Whatever part of me that was like, yeah, you go like, wow, I am a tadpole in a fucking ocean.
Yeah, I'm lucky to get a drop in here if I can.
Yeah.
Like so, and that's like that to me is a good life lesson, which
hell yeah.
I humbly accept as well. Like, yes, I will take all these lessons. I like them and I learn from them. And with me as well, like I don't feel I try not to harbor resentment or anything like that towards people that I've met or lessons I've learned, because like I feel like they're going to push me forward anyway. So. Especially in a town like this, when you meet so many egomaniacs and so many fucking crazy people and so many people with just like, dude, they're living a pipe dream. Like they're fucking out of their minds with the bullshit they talk and like the stories you hear. I'm like going, where's the real people at? Where are the people that I'm going to learn from?
You can get a bit like that, and then it's a double-edged sword. It's kind of like all those things that is the land of dreams and anything's possible. And like when you first come here, you go, "Oh my god, this is great!" Like finally somewhere
And it
I
is.
feel like, and it is. It really is. But that, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. The flip side of the coin is you have to take all of that goes with it as well.
Yeah,
And
it comes with a lot of crazy.
Exactly, and
Yeah, I think it's with the entertainment industry as well. It's just, I don't know, it attracts nothing but fucking weirdos. I was driving to I went to Venice yesterday with the girlfriend, like, so she's never been there and she lives here. She's like, well, let's go to I surprised her, let's go to Venice, and we were just chatting and she's like, oh yeah, I'm my type of weird, and I like, we were talking about like meeting and people and like how we got together and like just general couples conversations, and she's like, the way, because like you need to meet someone that's your kind of weird and all like that. And I was like driving along and I was like, I don't think you're weird. And next thing, like 5 seconds later, I'm making a voice in my head going, I'm going to drive on the freeway or what. And she goes, that's why you're with me. And it goes, so you call me weird, I'll fuck you out of this car. So, like, it was like, oh yeah, I guess. And it's like just trying to find your own balance of weird. Like,
I know exactly what you mean.
Oh yeah, you guys are a couple. Sorry, it just doesn't happen to be coincidentally.
And you can be so surrounded by people that are like, you're nuts, or they try and put you into a box or whatever, and then you meet someone else that's just like, I get you. It's like, I wouldn't change a damn thing about you, and then you go,
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's why you're with that.
But yeah, that's it as well. As well as being with like finding your partner or whatever, it's like finding people that, because like as I got a little bit older, I learned a little bit more about myself. I was like, oh shit, I don't need. We were just talking about this before. You were getting coffee, like not feeling bad about like leaving people behind or leaving countries behind, which is something like the three of us have done, and which makes me I got excited there for a second just to talk about that. That. Like, there's no, to anyone else, like, if they're listening or not, I don't care, like, there's no harm in, if you're doing something that for the greater good for yourself and to build yourself up and give yourself strength and give yourself a career or a life or a dream or whatever, fucking go do it. Like, you don't have to ask permission.
No.
And like myself, you're doing it too. You're also flying the flag while you do it. You're not denying where you're from.
No, never.
I'm the Irish guy.
Yeah.
I find it helps too.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, being the Australian guy. And it's one of those things that it's not put on by any means.
Yeah.
It's a part of who I am. But, the last thing I could do would be come here and be one of those people. It's like, I'm from Hollywood. People would be like, no, you're fucking not. Like, listen to you talk.
Where
it's pretty obvious.
But no, you talk to people here all the time. It goes, where do you live? Oh, or where are you from? Or where it goes, oh, LA, Hollywood. It goes, well, there's only so many people that can be from. Like, where are you from?
Yeah.
Oh, Ohio. But I was like, then fucking say
from
Ohio.
And I learned that really early when I first came here. Is like, there's no point in. I couldn't do that if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I was like, who am I fooling? And
You're like, I'm from fucking Hollywood, mate. Like going, no, you're not. I'm sorry. You're choking on your coffee. The first fucking fatality of the podcast.
It's a good Aussie accent. Sorry, I sound really bogan at the moment. I got a bit of a cold.
I did the last podcast I did. I was recovering from. I did it. I see it on my own as well. So I do the group podcasts with people, and then in between I do what's called a 0.5 podcast. So say this is like podcast 7. Then next weekend I'll do my 0.5 in between. Pretty smart, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. But last week I nearly did an hour just talking about having a stomach flu. For the week before I talked about the colour of my poop and all that stuff. It was
amazing.
It was wonderful. It was very fascinating actually. But I couldn't stop coughing and I was like, I'm sorry for talking. So be sick. I don't care. But anyway, back to fucking what the hell were we talking about?
Yeah.
Like coming in from different places and like just being like I always think of like I don't know if you watch like Conor McGregor and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
there's a thing about it's just like tons of Irish people in fucking Australia, which is hilarious. Like so, which
in
we'll
Bondi.
fucking Bondi taking over. Never going there. Fuck that. It's the reason I won't go to Vancouver either. There's like 50,000 Irish people. So I remember I was in I'll get back to Conor McGregor in a second. I was staying in a hostel in Hermosa Beach when I was moving around, traveling around, and I was living there for 2-3 weeks, and then I came in and the staff were like. Just like, oh, hey man, there's another Irish guy here, and like a peacock or whatever, like, where? It's like, this is my fucking hostel, like get out of here. And I walked into the common room and there's this guy with like white guy with short hair, fucking white people, and racist. And I was like, how are you? And he goes, how's it going? I was like, so you're the other Irish guy? I goes, oh no, he goes to me, you're the other Irish guy, and I went, no. You're the other Irish guy. I'm the fucking Irish guy.
It's funny, we always find each other. Like, everywhere
that.
I go, no matter what I do, I always find the Irish people.
We're like...
You should see when I met someone called Siobha for the first... Like, a girl started at my old work called Siobha, and I was like,
it's just like, I'm not special anymore.
My
mom lied to me.
This is my thing.
This is my thing. I'm the person that their name can't be pronounced. God damn it. Or you look for there's a friend at home, like Yvonne. Yeah. But it's like spelt like Yvonne. And it's like, oh, hi, Wevany. I'm like, oh, you fucking England. Or you watch those videos online of Americans trying to pronounce Irish words or eating Irish food or whatever the fuck. It's just really funny. And then they do the other ones where it's the Irish people trying to eat the American food, and it's always the same.
What does Australian slang mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, so, but did you have a problem? How long have you
been? I've been here. January was my 3-year anniversary living here. Like, I came here for the first time at the start of 2013.
Yeah.
And then did a tour and whatnot, but I actually moved here.
And you came here for the same reason as me, musician.
Yeah.
And did you fall on your feet and just find a band and go tour?
It's a very complicated, I came with an Australian band. They had management out here. They were signed out here. And I fell into being a hired gun. Like, back in Australia, I always wanted to do my own thing. And then all of a sudden, I just started getting offers from bands going, dude, we need a guitarist. And I'd be like, and it brought me here. They went, you want to come to Hollywood? And I went, sure. And so we toured. We had everything sorted out, lined up to come here. And I came ahead early to meet up with the band's management and work with them and line up a tour. The 11th hour, for whatever reason, the singer got in trouble with the law. Wasn't allowed to leave Australia.
As
Band's no longer coming. Dropped by their management, dropped by their label. I'm left in LA all by myself.
And
there was like a 6-month period of like, what the hell is going to happen?
Yeah.
And I landed on my feet. Sweet. And I'm, through tenacity and, being surrounded by good people, I guess. Yeah. But, so, and then from there, it's just been band to band to band to band. But there was a period there where it's like, wow, this,
it's scary.
What? I'm like, well, you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
And especially in the music industry, it's like these people are your friends, but at the same time, there's a big difference between, being able to call mom and being like, hey, what do I do? And opposed to someone else that's also in a band that goes, I want your gig.
Yeah. No, because we're all headhunting. Like, I'm not, like, I make no lie about that either. Like, I came in here the very first night in Hollywood, I remember, and by some fluke luck or whatever, went to a birthday party and then ended up taking a piss beside fucking a guy that was in a famous band that I grew up listening to.
Yeah.
And ended up in his band 3 weeks later.
Well, there you go.
I was like going, holy shit, that isn't going to happen in Ireland.
Exactly. And there's the thing, I always say, it's like, the amount of work I put into things back in Australia compared to the amount of work I put into things here, which is parallel, but as far as time is concerned, it's like I've achieved like that much since I lived here, as opposed to like pushing so much uphill and going like, it shouldn't be this hard.
No, I was thinking about that as well the other day. It's just like, because you get thinking about like, like there's parts of me that are like, you can get down a lot and you're like, God, what about if the next project doesn't go well, or what have I done in the meantime?
What ifs?
Oh yeah, I don't like what ifs, like, so I'm like, oh, why do them? And I was like, but then it was like all the work I used to do at home in Ireland, trying to promote being a band and try to get people together, and they're all nice people, and I'd love to bump into them again someday. Maybe, who cares if I don't? Like, I'm sorry, like, but that's like kind of the.
And you're allowed to say that.
I am allowed.
And another thing I'm like, what worked 5 years ago doesn't necessarily have to work right now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with saying that. And the main reason people get angry or will say things about you behind your back is because they fear and resent change.
Yeah.
Whereas I welcome it with open arms.
And
it's like, cool, what's going to happen?
Relationships as well. Like, you hear people say all the time, but we were friends in school. It's like, but people change.
Yeah. But the thing is, I want to change.
You've changed, man. It's like, good, I hope so.
Yeah, that's the point of growing up.
I look back at, some of the things I used to do and say when I was young. I'm like, man, I'm glad I don't do that anymore.
But people hold you to that. Like, it's like people don't let you
in their head, you're that person that hung out with them then.
Yeah.
And if you're not that in any way, shape, or form, like, they're like, where's the box I can put this in? It doesn't fit.
Yeah, I was actually telling Siobha, which is weird to say your name, because it's just like, Siobha, this is so weird. It's just like, it's great. Like, what? Ronnie, Jimmy, Bob, whatever. Boring names. Sorry, they're just shit names. I'm sorry. But we were talking about, like I said, I went home like a few years ago, and that's when like I was in between, because I did the same as you. I came over here, and Jesus, man. Well, I guess it's kind of the same as you. 2 weeks into here, I was on a national tour, like playing festivals, and I was like, this is my life now. 2 weeks in America, I'm playing in front of thousands of people.
I belong here.
Then a month later, I was sleeping in a shed. So I was, because I slept in my friend's garage for like 6 months because I had a band with them, and I slept in the rehearsal area. And it's like, oh shit, like it slows down, and then like the reality kicks in. Oh, this isn't actually going to be as easy. You get strokes of luck every now and again. You're like, oh, I'm on tours, I'm doing cool shit. Then there's the lull period, and you're like, oh god. And that lull period is what kind of drives me a little bit kooky. But I went home to visit home, like my mother and all that, and that's when I was telling you, like I met up with like who I thought was a good friend of mine, like, so. And I'm not saying this person's a bad person. Don't need to name names either, like. But I remember going to dinner with them, and they almost trying to make me feel guilty that I didn't maintain the friendship correctly, and
as if it's your responsibility.
Like it's a two-way street, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
And because I'm not being like when they ask me like, how are you doing, I'll be honest, I was like, it's kind of hard. Like, I'm struggling a lot, and I'm doing kind of what I want to do. And I was like, well, maybe you should think about coming home and like starting a normal life. And I'm like going, the fuck does that mean? Like, I'm...
Yeah, what even is...
You asked how I feel, I answered the question. I'm not... It's pretty obvious, and then that's the hardest part, is when you do meet people that you can relate to on such things, it's like, oh my god, because you end up in this little weird bubble where all those people that you used to be able to relate to are going like, oh my god, you're getting everything you want, I wish I was in your position or whatever. Whereas you're sitting there going, I don't feel like I'm getting what I want.
That's me
like,
as well.
I can't, all these horrible things have gone wrong, and and then they guilt you if you... They perceive it as you complaining, whereas they've gone, how are you? I'm answering the question honestly.
Yeah. I was like,
and then all of a sudden you become this self-censored silent thing, where it's like, I'm just not going to...
Well, maybe you should retreat and come back and be one of us. I'm like, no, don't want to be one of you. Like we were talking about the white picket fence, like, we'll just settle. I'm like, well, I don't want to fucking settle. Like, why would I settle? I'm not like...
I'll settle and have an epic midlife crisis in 10 years and have fun dealing with that.
Yeah, get a bank loan and buy a Ferrari and then die of a heart attack because I can't pay back the fucking loan. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Speak that I bought a car, but whatever. Like, I love it. It's mine. It's not even cool. It's like, I love it. I think it's cool. But whatever. Anyway, but
I feel like he was like listening at the window to our conversations the last week.
Yeah,
like all the stuff we've been talking about this all the time.
What part?
Like about, leaving people behind and away from. I feel like you're at the window, like writing.
No, because it's like, I feel like, these are things like I feel like it's not talked about, and I think people that do travel from other countries or move to America, they need to hear it as well. Because it's like, I remember the third day here, I was in a hostel on Hollywood Boulevard, and the third fucking day, it was the heaviest rainstorm apparently LA had in 10 years, and it rained for like... violent rain for 36 hours. And I remember this is too close to home. This weather's too close to home. And I remember sitting in, like lying in a bunk, and I was actually fucking sobbing and crying, like going, man, it's like maybe I made a mistake. What am I doing here? Like I couldn't go outside because I get saturated. I don't know anybody here. Oh my God. And I remember like randomly texting someone I didn't really know in the US. Hey, just to let you know, I'm in the country. Maybe we could meet up. I was so fucking lonely, and I was here 3 days. I was like, maybe I made a mistake. And then it was like the voice in the back of your head going, oh man, just the rain will stop. Go out and buy some new shoes because those ones fell apart, and continue on with the adventure. Like go push forward, like, you know. And it is hard, and it is lonely, and you're going to be hungry sometimes, and you're going to be broke sometimes. And sometimes you want, dude, I've slept on this couch like a bunch of times because Bob is like, where are you staying? I'm like, oh, I don't have a place right now. No, just stay on my couch. Like, and that's the type of people I want to be around. He, like, for example, I think I talk about Bob every single podcast for no other reason that he's been a big influence on me as well. And now he's inside napping at fucking 2 in the day. Oh, fucking lazy prick. But it's a friends like that. They're like, how are you doing? And like just like the same question, how are you doing? Not doing so good. Like, cool.
And that's an okay answer. It's okay. Like, you know, I found on the scene, which is so funny when you come here, people talk about like, oh, people in Hollywood are only out for themselves, and the scene is so cutthroat. Blah 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 blah. So's Sydney.
Yeah.
So's London. So's everywhere.
So's where I'm from.
It's you know, and it gets this. You know, I remember when I was about probably 21, 22 years old, just someone said to me at a gig once, how are you? And I'm like, you know, you're the first person to ask me that in fucking months.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, I'm actually not doing all right. Yeah. And they're like, and they don't know how to handle it. And it's like, but you're expressing, you know, because everyone does the, oh, I'm fine, everything's one. It's like my Facebook, everything's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
by the way, how are you?
You know, I'm very well, thank you. I'm actually really happy to be here. I'm great. Yeah. You know, I'm the happiest I've ever been, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just interesting that it's not just here. It can be anywhere, and those parallels can be drawn.
Yeah, I got there's a comment on one of the podcasts on YouTube. It was like a guy from Dublin. John was his name. So how are you, John? I don't know if you're listening or not. Maybe just listen to that one podcast because it was with a friend of mine. Imelda Dark is her name. She's like a fetish porn star, and he was like, "Holy shit, we were out there on because he came out here on vacation, and they were like they stay on the Sunset Strip in Hollywood and all that stuff. It's great. Like I love it. It's exactly where I bring everyone when they come to visit. Like,
oh, of course.
And oh man, that's the girl we were having drinks with. Me and my girlfriend were having drinks with her, and she's so cool. And I was like, I bet you didn't know this about her though, did you? Like, because it was like a 2-hour podcast of her going through where she's from in Indiana to here, and like just like kind of what she does for a living. And I was like
behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain. Yeah, it was just like, well, yeah, because you don't get to know people. You just get to see the facade. And when you come to like, dude, me and you and her can travel to fucking where's a country that I've never been. I've never been to Canada. So say we go to fucking Vancouver. I guarantee you, after a weekend, all of us be like, Jesus, this is fucking great fun, fucking great time. Because I was like, yeah, the motivation for us to go there is to have fun and have a great time. When you go live anywhere, you get to know the characters, you get to know the in-depth behind the curtain scenes of everyone there.
The downtime and what it's really like.
It's just like, oh, they're kind of cunty here. I'm like, yeah, but they're kind of cunty at home as well.
Yeah,
like, so
I saw, because I'm assuming you probably get the same. Lots of musicians would reach out to you and be like, you know, should I move to LA? And I go like, well, there's a big difference between visiting here and living here.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, if you're the band that, because it's what I experienced, it's, you know, got the management, got the label, and you get that, say, on the Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
Everything's been organised out months in advance before you get there. Oh, wow, photo shoots just happen, and people just drive you around. You go, man, I could... And then you live here, and it's like...
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. This is hard.
It's one of the most expensive places in the world.
Yeah. And
besides San Francisco. So.
Yeah. Or Sydney.
Yeah.
Is Sydney bad?
Yeah. It's
expensive. Sydney's extortionate.
Jesus.
But we get paid more.
See, this is where we're going to get into. I wish Bob
wake up! Because so many American musicians I know are like, man, minimum wage is how much? Because we call Burger King Hungry Jacks.
Yeah,
go, I can make $23 an hour flipping burgers at Hungry. I'm moving to Australia.
Let's talk about this. Okay, now we're getting into the nitty gritty part. So, and I'm not political. I'll do my disclaimer right now for anyone listening. I don't care. I know apparently my opinion does matter because like American friends, oh, your opinion does matter, but I don't get to vote or anything. So this is like mental regurgitation.
You have thoughts just like every other human being.
Dare I say I have thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
But remember when
chocolate or vanilla?
Yeah. Oh God, just pick one. Pick a side. I'm like, there is no fucking side. Stop being an idiot.
Yeah.
But before the elections last year and like that, and they're talking about like minimum wage America and blah blah blah. And, $15 an hour in McDonald's, and everyone there was like fucking riots, like, okay, fucking ambulance drivers only get 19, and I'm a doctor and I only get 30, and I'm like, oh, why would I give someone flip a cheeseburger 15? And I'm like, why not? Like, what's the issue here? Like, the cost of living's gone up, everything's more expensive, gas, rent, food, like everything.
They have more money to spend. They'll go out and spend it. It goes back into the economy. Everyone benefits.
Jesus, you're a scientist right there. Like, did you just do a simple math equation and come out?
Oh my god!
Ding.
But it's us versus their mentality. I think it's not just exclusive to here, but I have noticed regarding such things is. Have you ever got this one? Well, you're not from here, so we'd like your opinion on the matter. And you go, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear what I have to say. And they're like, no, please go on. It's like, I'm about to offend every person in this room. And, this is what I think. And they're like, well, you're not from here. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah. Well,
you're like,
you don't get the
but you asked my opinion.
Yeah,
and it's like, there's a lot of moments that happen, and that's one of them. It's like,
it is. And it's
come from a country that has, like, what is the minimum wage now? Is it 20?
It's like 19's a standard base wage for
what is that, US?
Hospitality. That'd be like
15 or 16 with the exchange rate right now.
The exchange rate is it's like 60 cents.
Yeah, our dollar's crashed recently. But I remember when I first came here, we were up in the 90s. It was nearly close to 1 for 1.
Yeah. I remember when I first came here, for every euro, I changed it to dollar. It was like $1.45, and I was like, I'm fucking balling. And like the thing is, I know like this is an expensive country, but everything was actually cheaper here than Ireland.
Same, like the music gear, for example, is a third of the price here.
It's insane.
Food,
it's so when your dollar's 1 for 1, America's really, really like this is great. Things are affordable here, but right now our dollar's just plummeted recently.
It's the same with the euro, because every now and again, for whatever reason, like my mother is like gets worried. And she's, I put €50 in your bank account. I'm like, and then the next question is, how much is that in dollars? I'm like, it's about $52. Thanks very much. I'm 30-something years old. I don't need, you know what? Thanks, ma. So I just buy her a Christmas present and give it back to her or whatever. Yeah. But it's just funny. It's like that whole, dude, that's $16 an hour to work in Burger King.
Yeah,
that's okay with me. And as you said, the cost of living is more, so guess what? You need more money.
That's it. Like the cost, like property in Sydney especially right now is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like it is.
Rent.
Like people talk about how much rent is here. It's not that different to that.
Yeah, and that's even like in San Francisco or fucking Dublin in Ireland, it's extortionist prices as well. So there's like I don't know what the minimum wage is in Ireland, but I remember when I worked there, like I never. There was always the thing about like I don't know if it was the same in Australia in the what decade? The first decade, the noughties.
The noughties?
Is that what you call them?
The
2000s, the recession hit. I'm doing this, and like Ireland was crippled apparently.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm working 4 jobs, and I'm like, well, there's always work. I'm sorry, like I hate to tell everybody this, like so you can create work, you can make money. There's ways of doing it.
Yeah.
And like even when I came over here and I got everything settled and blah blah blah, and we were just talking about it before, and you do not have to partake in this if you don't want, but the lack of ambition for like American musicians, a lot of them is like kind of like the broke ass mentality, the broke ass musician mentality. I'm like, get a fucking job. I'm like, oh, I can't. I was like, well, no, dude, you're American. And the wage here is like $10 an hour. Like, so get a fucking job. Like, oh, I don't want to do that for $10 an hour. Fuck you, then I'll do it. And I did for a while. And there's like kind of like the difference between me and that person is like I'll do what I have to do. Like, so I make way more than $10 an hour. I'm just gonna put that out there. Just like I ain't working for $10 an hour. Get the fuck out of here.
What's that saying? If there's a will, there's a way.
That's exactly it. It's how bad you fucking want it. And I've just been sitting here thinking the whole time you're saying that. I'm like, that's not exclusive to here. Yeah. That reminds me, in Sydney when I wanted to come here, I was working like 3 or 4 jobs.
Yeah.
Like I'd wake up and I'd mow lawns for the council from 7 a.m. till 3 in the afternoon.
Nice.
Then I'd go and teach guitar, and then I'd go and DJ at bars. And then I go to bed at about 3 a.m., get 3 or 4 hours away, and because I wanted to be here that bad, I just worked my ass off and into the ground. And it's one of those things that, and there's also the musician that sleeps in, they're probably on mom and dad's payroll, getting everything handed to them, and it's the entitlement that's the problem. Yeah. And I think it's partly generational,
Yeah.
but it's universal. It's that people want. I'm not sure if it's an ego thing or I deserve to have it. The clouds to open and this hand to come down and go. Here's the gig you always wanted. Well, welcome to reality. It doesn't work that way. The guy that gets up earlier than you and goes out and fucking hustles to get it is gonna get it.
Did you guys grow up middle class, or I don't mean to pry? Like,
middle class.
Yeah. Because I always try and. I try and figure out what the fuck way did I grow up, and I remember me and my brother before I left. I think the year or something before I left for Christmas, we'd go home to my mother's house, and we just drink some beers because there's fucking nothing to do there, and watch movies and all that shit. And we were just drinking, watching Christmas movies, and then I remember he turned to me and he goes, hey, we were poor, weren't we? And I was like drinking my beer, and I went, yeah, we were fucking poor. So we weren't middle class at all. We were just broke. Right. And my mother was a single mother trying to raise two boys as well. And I remember going getting a job at 15 and being in school and in college, and now I'm twice that age now again, and I'm like, that hasn't changed. If anything, it instilled a good work ethic in me, and the struggle is real. You just have to go and fucking do it. So
that Irish Catholic guilt.
It is, isn't it?
In you. It's in me. I came from a very alternative
that was Irish Catholic guilt, just in case anyone that missed that. Good Irish Catholic guilt.
So my dad was a musician, and my he had to work at 15. Dropped out of school, was a carpet layer like most good Irish people, / drummer by night. Sole provider, working class, had my sister and I, Roisin.
Yeah, Roisin and Siobha. How old is Roisin?
My brother Luke, and the sole provider.
It's a shit Irish name, but go on. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Sorry, Luke.
And he did everything he could so that we weren't working class. That so we could have the middle class life. We grew up in a city called Blacktown, which you don't want to go to. It's one of the roughest.
Non-derogatory, no racism.
Yeah, no offense, but
that's the Australian creativity. What are we gonna call it?
Yeah.
I got it. We'll call it Blacktown.
I kind of want to ask, why is it called Blacktown? Do you know? Or
I don't know. I just
want to go.
The political correctness waves come in, and they're going, we need to change the name, and the locals are going, fuck off.
It's a fucking colour,
It could be a number of reasons, but I remember Mum would drive us to preschool or daycare an hour away, so that we could be in a nice area and not go there.
Jesus.
And yeah.
But it's, good. I don't see any harm in that either.
Always working and always finding a way to, give better. And I sort of got that from my dad of just, at the moment, because I'm preparing to move over. I'm finishing my degree. That's
what's your degree in?
So I do a double degree in music and business.
Damn.
So it's full on. I do 30-something hours a week, and I work every other hour of the day.
Wow.
I don't stop, and I live out of home, and everyone goes, "You're crazy, but it can be done."
Were you raised Catholic as well then by your family, or?
I had to. I had no choice,
I talk about it all the time.
It's for my family, and it's a cultural thing. It's a family thing. It was being Irish. I've done all my sacraments, went to the Catholic school, but we don't believe in it. My family's actually really into a lot of Eastern. My mum's a Buddhist.
Yeah. There you go. Actually, right there. I'm sorry.
I've got one here.
Yeah. That's something that appealed to me as well.
Yeah. So.
I'm wondering, because I talk about. I was in the bank 2 days ago, just changing stuff or putting money in, taking money out. It's grown up stuff. It's horrible stuff. But it was a Mexican guy, Luis was his name, and he was helping me out. Really cool guy. And I was like, where I live, and he's like, you live here? He goes, oh yeah, I live here. And we're just talking. He goes, I got to ask, man, where's that accent from, man? And he goes, oh, Irish. And he goes, you're obviously fucking Mexican of some sort, because he was he's Mexican.
Yeah.
He goes, oh yeah, no, obviously. He goes, yeah, I love fucking, dude, I don't even know if this is racist or not. I love Mexican food. Do you know any good Mexican places to eat? I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I was and then he gave me 2 places, and I went and ate at one. But it was just the cultures, and I was joking with him, and I was like, because we were having a laugh with each other as well, and I was like, obviously Mexicans get a weird rap in America as well for some reason, even though
it's hard to process when you come from. I've discussed this as well. When I got here, I'm like, what's the problem? think it's great. I don't get it.
Yeah,
and I'd say, I'll just be quiet and just observe. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, I want to
and
actually go back on something you said a few minutes ago. But it's the same thing. I was joking with him, we were laughing, and I was like, I said, do you know the way like Mexicans are portrayed in America? Obviously, like I'm not trying to make fun of him. I said, well, that's the Irish with Europe, so it's the same fucking thing. So can you tell me where to get a couple of good tacos, like, or whatever? And we just started laughing. And he goes, yeah, it's like, and I always joke about like Ireland is the Mexico of Europe. It's like kind of they're the broad-back farmers that do all the hard labor work, and the fucking like they'll do all the work that no one else will. And I was like, yeah, I fucking will. And then like the Polish moved into Ireland, and then they became the Mexicans of Ireland. And I was like, shit, they're doing all the work. We won't do. There's no harm in saying this either. Like there's like fucking like it's what's the political correctness thing? Is that what that is? I guess like trying to like, well, I'm not trying to like offend anyone. No. Fuck you.
It's like you've already made your mind up, and by saying that, you basically have.
Hey, look, don't mean to sound racist, Ryan. But the next thing you're gonna say,
I'm not racist, but and then it's like, it's like, all right, here we go. What are you gonna say? But it's George Carlin does a great skit on it. Like how political correctness is just like
the philosopher George Carlin.
Yeah, and it's becoming just this like vernacular where it's like it's so like just say what you mean. Yeah, like you're not offending anyone by
That's it. I listened to a podcast the other day. It's like how come it's okay to say black people and white people, but you can't say yellow people or orange people or fucking. What other type of people are there? I don't know. Like
orange people. Who's that reference to?
I don't know. What is there? Orange? Oh, that's orange person.
Orange person.
Yeah. Like that. For some reason, that like in your head, that triggers a fucking like kind of. That's probably racist. I'm like going. No, that's a black guy. So it's just like, what do you do? Like I remember getting an Uber in LA one night, and it was like this really nice. Flamboyant black woman, and she's like, hey honey, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going home. Fucking how are you? And then I was like, I had a few beers in me, but I would have asked anyway, and I don't really drink anymore, so now I'll definitely ask. I was like, let's talk about black stuff, like and she spoke to me because I had a half-hour fucking car. I'm gonna sit there in silence, and I just asked her about fucking black people stuff. I'm not black. Like, I don't know. But you'd be
curious. Like, in Australia, we don't have African Americans as a culture per se. Right? Yeah. So it's one of those things when you come here as an Australian, it's like, of course, we get mainly American media. You know a fair bit about it, but it's one of those things that never firsthand. So you're curious and you want to ask, and it's not being offensive to go, I'm curious about your culture. Please tell me about it.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like, actually, the first thing I thought when you said it was like, oh yeah, Aboriginals, they're black, I guess, or they're the blackest of black. Yeah. That's not racist to say. I am fucking sorry, but they're blacker than this fucking coffee table, and they have they're a completely different like ethnicity towards African blacks and American blacks, and I want to know about all of them. Like if I went there, total Crocodile Dundee shit, I'd be like, "Where's that guy from the movie? I want to talk to him about chasing lizards and shit."
We're gonna walk about Creek.
Yeah. Like let's go on a walkabout, mate. Like I want to ask people that.
And that's the fun in traveling, and political correctness, I feel, is making everything really beige and removing that. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with. It's a melting pot, but it's getting to the point where if everywhere is exactly the same, it removes the fun in traveling. Like if I go to Australia, I'd want to see Australian things. Like when I come to America, like American cult, like America invented rock and roll.
Yeah,
that's
stole it from the blacks. Just saying, fucking white people. God damn it. Okay, come on. Fuck you, Jimmy Page.
Oh Jesus! I laughed that out.
Unsubscribe if you don't like it.
The feed's just like angry emoticons just popping.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's gonna be like.
But from an Australian's point of view, it's me going. The culture comes from here.
Yeah.
And when I moved here, it's like that's what gets you excited. You go like, wow, this is where it started. And if political correctness keeps going the way it is, that's going to get stamped out because all of a sudden it's going to be offensive to somehow say that.
Yeah.
It's like if I go to England. Europe, where the history comes from.
Yeah. Where things are old and stuff.
Yeah, so. Like some of my American friends, like, oh man, Europe, old shit, check it out, old shit.
Dude, down in Venice Beach yesterday with my girlfriend Ashley, and we walked by a bar, and she goes, wow, it was built in 1922, and
you're like...
Yeah, anyway, whatever. Oldest pub in, I think, either the world or in Europe, anyway, is in Ireland, in Athlone. Like so, and then the next one is in Kilkenny, where I'm from. 800 years.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's always been a pub, a bar. It's always served alcohol. the amount of millions of people that have probably got drunk in 800 years, one building, like 1922, get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We got to get a plane ticket, like, get the fuck out of here. But yeah, no, go on, sorry, I didn't mean to
No, you spot on, and that's, I think that's a key thing is, when people come, they want to see the culture. It's kind of like why you travel.
Yeah.
One of the many reasons, and it's like, if everywhere's exactly the same as where you left, then what was the point of leaving?
Why the fuck did you leave? Yeah.
And
it's like anytime I feel, because I read a lot of I never contribute to online banter, like arguments, and like I actually stopped purposely.
Likewise.
August 2016.
I tried really hard just to remove myself from doing that.
I know, and every now and again, as I said, I saw your comment.
Like, sometimes you sit there at your computer just like, I'm not going to do it. I'm a musician. I'm a guitarist, I'm not a politician. I'm a guitarist, not a politician. And then you're like,
2 + 2 is 4. 2 + 2 is 4. It doesn't equal anything. It's fucking the sky is blue, grass is green. Shut your fucking mouth, you idiot.
Yeah.
Delete your comment. Like,
and then you wake up the next morning, you're just like, delete.
Yeah, just like, no, there's no point. Like,
it's just like.
But that is, I do read it online, and it's like kind of, I don't know if it is Americans. It's just like I have a lot of Americans on my feed, and like I am a musician as well. Like I'm not a fucking professional podcaster. I just do this because I want to talk to people about this shit. Like, and
why not
learn and fucking like I don't know much about Australia at all. And I want to see your perspective on it as well. But it's just like reading shit online and mostly like young people. I'll pick on young people for a second. Like, so I'll say like 15 to 25 or like that. Like, so the majority of it are fucking retarded, and I mean that in the derogatory sense. You're stupid fuckers. Like, calm down in the comments. Calm down on the fucking, this guy, he's personally offended me on YouTube. Like,
if you have an answer to every single question in the world in this thing, and you choose all your time to use this to look at photos of cats, you're a fucking idiot.
Except
like,
unless it's my cat and he's cool, but I hate cats though, so never mind.
No, but I mean in the sense of like, well, I don't know that. Don't be proud of your ignorance. You have an answer to every question in your head.
Dude, this
right
thing
there.
here is we're pointing it in case you're just listening. It's a fucking iPhone or an i something or a smartphone or whatever the fuck. The answer to it's fucked up, man. The answer to absolutely everything is right there. Like, so,
and you'll get like, I don't know.
But you're shooting from the hip every time. With like, just like you could easily like snippet that one part out what I just said and like, did you hear that? He called all young people retards and he meant it.
And here comes the remix.
So it's like the Jimmy Trigger, the racist retard bashing Irish guy. He also insulted those nice Australian people because he said cunts or something. I'm going, I don't give a fuck. Like, it doesn't make it not true. And as well as that, like your sensitivity has also become your weakness. And I talk about this in America, where it's like
very true.
I think I may go back and try and find it and edit it out in case someone got offended. I am not doing that. Go fuck yourself. Like, I might have called millennials fags or something like that. Some previous podcast. Again, that in the non-derogatory sense. I don't give a fuck what your sexual preference is. Like, so I know the way I like it. That's what I'm talking about, and that's the way I'll choose to do my thing. Anyway, without showing any pictures. Hi, girlfriend. But it's just like, it's so fucking easy trigger people nowadays with the fucking simplest, just like, oh, again, there's the black lad. Oh, that guy over there is gay. It's like, you can't say that. But he's fucking jerking that dude off. He's gay. Like, I'm pointing out the colors of things and the shapes. I'm like, that's a framed picture. This is a table. There's Mickey Mouse holding a cleaver.
You're really tall. Well, I had no idea.
Dude, you're a sizist. Go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
Like, what? That's a thing, by the way. So it's like against small people, or I guess you don't say midgets. You say dwarves. Little people, I guess.
Darby O'Gill and the little people.
No, you say midget, you're a sizist. Go fuck yourself. Racist.
It's so
Check
funny.
your privilege. Check your privilege.
You white motherfucker.
It's like there's a thing now to see who can be more offended by something. Like, it used to be like, who can be tough, who can carry their own, who's not affected by things. And now it's like, who can be more offended?
But that's my...
I'm more offended than you.
Like, have a glass of concrete and harden the fuck up.
Yeah, hey, life's hard, wear a helmet, like Dave O'Leary. Like, so, no, but like that's why I think if he ever wakes up, Bob, or where I get on well with him, or I do talk to, like, every now and again, like, again, Ashley, my girlfriend, will say, because like, you don't really seem to show any kind of emotion towards like being offended, and I goes, because I'm not. And the reason why is I don't give a fuck. Why should I care about some ignorant, stupid fucking person on the internet, whether they're 15 or 50, telling me you can't say that? Sorry, kid. I just did, and I will, and I can, because guess why? I'm curious, and I want to learn more about it. I'm not pointing people out to make fun of them. For starters, I'm either too old or too grumpy and mature to do that. I'm like, I have no interest in pointing out, look at that fat fucker over there.
Don't tell me what I meant. Ask me what I meant.
Fucking there you go.
Like, you know, what's the context in which I used it? And it's ridiculous.
And I get that a lot, dude, because I'm a big advocate for, like, I go to therapy every now and again. Like, and it's America, so that's what you do as well. It's awesome. And I suffer from anxiety and all that stuff.
Likewise.
Like, fucking... let's talk about that as well. And even she was telling me, I don't know if you call him doctor. Do you call him doctor? Anyway, Heather is her name. She's cool as fuck. I think she's super religious, but she never brings that up, which is really cool. And I come in and I wear like a church and it says "Stay Late" on it or whatever like that. Like, so the Blackcraft stuff, they give me clothes and stuff. So how are you Blackcraft clothing? It's really cool. They make cool shit. But she was even explaining to me is like kind of, well, people will take you wrong for one reason is like your culture is different, the way you speak is different, the way you converse is different, the way you use words is different. And I was like, I already knew this, but it was so refreshing for someone to say it to me and be like, because when I'm talking to her, I'm like, well, fucking, I was over fucking there now, and I was like, shite anyway, and this cunt came over to me and yeah, and dude,
you just dropped the C. What is with you Aussies and that fucking
dude? When I actually remember the first time I said that in front of a group of Americans. And
me too.
And I lived in Denver.
I remember you warned me. You like to.
No, fuck that. Say it all you want. Like so. And I was in a backyard barbecue beer, like, you know, PBRs and steaks and all that shit. Everyone's having fun, and I'm like, you know, sure, fucking them cunts to be like, and the whole.
It's like a pin drop moment. Like everyone's like needle off the record player, like
yeah, and I go.
I think the most offensive word you can say that, and to tell it, especially like when I was drinking, to tell a drunk Australian that word has power. It's like,
fuck.
Oh, it's like all right.
Yeah, here we go. So, but that's that. There's the exact point. Is like the cultural difference of
it's
like
so taboo.
But the thing is like. You should probably not say that. As I'll fucking again. I'll say whatever I want.
It's like you're gonna want to say, "Don't press the red button." You're like, I think I kind of want to press the red
button.
I
might repeatedly press it. To see what happens. Maybe if I press it 10 times, 10 things will happen.
Yeah.
But it's like, are you going to go to visit my country where we dropped that fucking bomb
and walk around just correcting people?
I'm sorry, that's highly offensive to me. I'm like, going, that's nice. No, fuck off, cunt.
Like, get a load of this fucking seppo. Here we go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then
you fucking sappo.
And it's like, you know, when I moved here, I deliberately removed that word from my vocabulary as a gesture of respect, because I didn't want to. I'm going to wait till I live there before I go jumping the gun. And it's one of those things that after time, it's one of those, you know. Well, plus if I did say it, they wouldn't know what the hell I meant. Anyway.
Yeah, the context will be taken incorrectly.
But it's just one of those things that I do want to state that when I moved here, I open-mindedly and open arms was like, all right, if I'm going to live in the country, I'm going to welcome the culture.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not going to go in, you know, aiming to harm or hurt anyone. And even then, there were moments where I did offend people unintentionally, and I'd explain myself. But, you know, and I think it's a fear within the culture here. A lot of people are scared that you're going to come here and disregard their ways of doing things. Because it's like, that's the problem, you know, people in Australia. It's like, if you want to live here, you've got to follow the Australian way of life, and these people aren't doing it, and that's a problem. Mm-hmm. And like every argument, there's right and wrong. There's pros and cons to each side, and I can recognize why people are, you know.
There's I think of the famous Australian philosopher Jim Jeffries, who lives in LA, and he's like talking about gun control or whatever the fuck, which is an entirely different conversation, which is a fun one as well.
Oh yeah, that divides a room.
Yeah. Which now half the people turn off, like, fuck you. I
didn't even say it.
Yeah, there you go. Like, I just said gun control, dude.
Well, wait, can we get like a little like if I do this, it's like I'm drawing on the screen, little red target.
Yeah, right in your head. But the two things actually, like I remember Jim Jeffries was talking about that, and then someone he said came up to him after the show, and he goes, "Hey man, you're an American now. You can't change the amendments." And he goes,
"You can't change a change."
Yeah, but they're called amendments. That's what they are. Yeah. They're changes. Like I'm like, you dickhead. And the other thing was, speaking of gun stuff, I think I said it with Bob and Mike in the first podcast. I put up a thing of me shooting shotguns, which it turns out I was really fucking good at. I was hitting like
I had a similar. I'd never shot before.
Neither did I.
And yeah, go on.
Brilliant. Like, I was like, cool, man.
It's fun.
Yeah, I was good at it. But I was like, if I ever do it again, whatever. Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
It's a fucking whatever. It's like,
why does a dog lick his balls? Because he can.
Yeah. It's like,
well,
there's a gun. I'm going to do it. Like, and I remember the hashtag like guns, hashtag America, hashtag not for me. And because we went go karting that same day, it was a bachelor party, and I had more fun go karting. Like, I just really like go karting, and because it was reckless abandonment. Like, fucking crash into people because you can't do that on the road. But well, you can, but you get in trouble. But it was just like the first few comments were. I remember, like, dude, I still talk about it.
I can't believe you did that.
Dude, it's so funny.
Dude,
no, it gets better.
You keep going.
It gets better.
I'm just excited.
I never said anything. I never said anything about negative towards guns, America, and they said nothing. And it goes, and I talk about this one comment. I hope it's still online if I didn't delete it. It goes, if ISIS had your family, what would you do then? Like, basically, like, where's your gun? And I'm like, well, if ISIS had my family, they're in the Middle East somewhere. I like, the ISIS won't get my family for starters because
the ISIS.
Yeah, the ISIS won't get my family. So hey, that's highly offensive. I'm offended. Please leave. Like, so pronounce their name correctly. But it's just like, where the fuck did that come into the conversation? All I said was I don't like. It's like me. I always thought a joke about it. Dude, I don't like ice cream either. I genuinely just don't like ice cream.
I don't like cake.
Yeah,
The
I
fuck
hate
is wrong with
cake.
you, you sick fuck. No, I'm the same. I just don't like sweet things.
Yeah, I don't have a sweet tooth really either. It's
I love
like, and
potato
then
chips and
moving
stuff.
here was an interesting thing. It's like, wow, sugar's in everything. Like, it's
Yeah.
in normal things like bread and milk.
Yeah.
And then
like,
you point
a
that
lot.
out, like, and like,
My body's like freaked out.
Yeah, you're just
Just
buzzing all the time. Like, so.
yeah. Well, even like I had tomato sauce the other day.
Oh, that's
ketchup.
Full of ketchup.
Yeah,
it's full high,
ketchup.
high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah. And it's like, we're not even going to put sugar in it. We'll just put chemicals in it. Like, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to America. Have this. My body.
I got a similar gun story. I see you on a
go.
Like, I was on the road last year on tour. We got to Texas and I was hanging out with my friend. And I'd never...
The Republic of Texas.
I'd never shot...
Highly offended.
You know, because we don't have guns in Australia. We do.
You've got great gun laws.
I'll rephrase that, because a lot of Americans think gun control means we don't have guns. We have more guns in Australia now than ever. We just have strict gun laws.
Yeah.
So it means that civilians can't just walk in
Please.
and buy...
No, let's talk about guns. Fuck it, let's do it.
Well, can I tell my story first?
Yeah, go on, sorry, yeah.
So it was the day...
God, I'm so rude. Like, who is this guy?
AR-15 assault rifle.
Yeah.
And my friend's got a target range, set up in the backyard. It's loaded there, and I am just like, let alone ever fight a handgun. It's just like, wow, go ahead. And like I said, why does a dog lick his balls? Because he fucking can.
Yeah.
So, and I'd never done it before, and I'm there like, bat, 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 and I knock, and it turns out I didn't miss a single target. I'd never shot before, and I'm like, wow, I found something I'm good at other than playing guitar.
Yeah.
Like, because, I'm a kid in high school who couldn't even catch a freaking ball.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, the guy is going, you sure it's your first time doing this?
Yeah.
Shit, you're better than me. And I'm going like, I'm doing well? Cool. And I put a video up of me doing it.
Yeah.
The day of the Orlando shooting. And I had no idea. I put up a video of me firing the exact same gun, and I'm all proud of myself. Like, I had a cowboy hat on, and I'm like, and...
I'm highly offended, but go on.
I had no idea, because I'm in a backyard in the middle of, rural Texas.
Well,
I didn't know.
you should know all current world events.
No,
so.
well, I put it out there, and then back driving along, and then my phone's like...
Yeah.
And I get a message from one of my buddies, also a musician, going, dude, like, take that down. I'm like, why? And it's like, I look at all the and I look at the news, I'm like, holy shit, delete! Because it was one of those, like, talk about the worst timing possible, and I'm getting, you're so disrespectful, and, all my friends that are left-wing are going, like, why would you do that? And, other people are going, yeah, and I'm going, like, I didn't actually even say anything. I just put footage of me firing the thing with a smile on my face, because it's like, I'd never done that before.
Yeah, why?
But it's like...
But you need to apologize to the world. I'm sorry. You can take this opportunity right now to apologize to the entire world. So, I'm sorry. And he's saying nothing, folks. So, good. You shouldn't either. That's the thing, like...
Well, because I didn't intend to harm anyone. I'm not going pro or anti anything. It's just one of those things, it's like,
Yeah, no, but that's
that was ultimately wrong place at the wrong time.
But again, it's like kind of this thing that I definitely have learned from, because the thing is, I kind of try not to search online that much. It's your job to know all current events right now and make sure you don't in any way insinuate something or kind of like just like you accidentally put up a fucking picture of you shooting a shotgun while a massacre was going on. Let's get this straight. There's like something like 400 or 500 active wars going on the planet,
Yeah, it's
and any
happening
time
every second of the day.
there are tens of thousands of people being shot and killed everywhere in the entire world every day. So how dare you put up a fucking picture of a fucking gun? Oh, and also, how dare you put up pictures of your breakfast? Because there's a baby in Somalia that can't even fucking get a piece of bread. Fuck you. I'll put up a picture of a steak, a salad, a fucking milkshake. I won't be drinking it. I'll spill it up. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. I'm not out there to offend people. I don't think you are either. It's just like...
You're not. And it's one of those things, it's a byproduct. And when it's like... And that leads into, like we'd kind of discussed before, it's like there's certain things that I fell into becoming a session player. Like, I play... You have to, in some regards, become this opinionless person in certain circles in industry. Like, the fact that I'm sitting here talking about such opinions in a public forum, part of me's going, you've never done this before, and part of me's going, this is liberating.
Yeah, but no,
you become this opinionless person, because if you offend someone, you could be out of a job.
No, I think, yeah... Again, I don't care.
I know you don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care for me. If you,
but I'm saying I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that in the past, there's been certain situations where things are discussed. I'll just deliberately go really quiet.
Yeah, and I'm
because it's just being a diplomat, and I hate that part of what I do. I hate that I have to do that.
Yeah, me in the year, I think I made a conscious decision to be like, you know what, take control of it all, take control of and take responsibility for what you're saying and how you're acting, but in the harshest way possible. Be yourself, be comfortable. Because let's go back to the anxiety thing. Over the years, and maybe it's a chemical thing as I get older, because your body is breaking. Because I love getting into the anxiety thing, because I talk about it. I tried weed again for the first time in 14 years last week. It went terrible.
It triggered it, and you...
No, it didn't actually do anything. I wasn't anxious anyway, and I was kind of giddy to try weed again, so I went and bought it, and my girlfriend was with me, and I thought it feels like I'm doing a bad thing, and it's funny, and I had a headache that day, so actually it worked to the point that when I smoked indica, like it's the one that makes you sleepy and soft and all that stuff. I tried like 2 big puffs of it, and all it does is it makes you kind of stoned, like kind of like and I giggly, and then munchies. I ate my body weight in graham crackers. I don't eat graham crackers and chocolate frosting. I hate sweet things.
That's why I don't smoke weed.
It's stupid.
I eat everything in the pantry. It makes me introverted, then I'll pass out.
And that's
wake
it.
up like I ate how much food?
But I know I did actually come out. I did, because like without bashing it, because so many people are into it. Like, just like, dude, the people that are into guns aren't into weed sometimes, or the people that are into weed.
Whatever the fuck they want.
Just exactly, like, that's exactly, because like say guns is like in this country is like a hardcore right thing, weed is like a hardcore hippie left thing, whatever. Hey, guess what, both of them I'm not really into, but I'll give weed its props for this. I had a migraine, because I get migraines every now and again, and I was under the weather and the beginning of a stomach flu and all that stuff, and I blame weed for the stomach flu. No, I'm kidding. Weed gave me the flu. But I had a migraine, and I remember actually just sitting there going, oh shit, my headache, it's I know it's there, but it actually the pain was masked, and it was gone technically. Like, I was like, oh shit, I'm able to like get
it's
up.
There, but you're okay with it.
Yeah, I was okay with it. And I was like, all right, well, that's kind of cool. I wasn't talking as clear as I am now. I was like, fucking weird, man. The pain in my head, but it's not there. And I was like, okay, I get it. If you're in pain and you're sick and you need a relief from fucking aches, fucking smoke weed, dude. Go nuts. Just like if you enjoy the hobby of blowing up clay pigeons or the beer bottles in your back garden with your machine gun, fucking do it. I don't care.
Yeah,
like, it's not for me to say. It's not for anyone to say, and for anyone to pass judgment on it as well is silly. Like, so, but with the anxiety thing, for me, it just didn't help at all. Like, so the one thing I always helped, because I've tried medication, prescription meds, which were prescribed to me. I'm not trying to sound like a school teacher here. Kids, don't take drugs. Like, no, but just don't take drugs that aren't for you, like, or you haven't been prescribed. I would tell that to anyone. Like, that's just dangerous. Like, you know, or just don't do it. It's stupid. Like, but I've done the prescription meds thing, like, for anxiety, and strangely enough, they do work. But it came with me is like the same month I changed my diet. I religiously went to the gym. I was getting up every morning.
That'll help more than anything. Is
that actually kind
being
of
active,
being active. And I was telling, I think I might have talked about it on my own in a different podcast, like just coming up with a routine for yourself that makes you feel good. It's like when you get out of bed every morning, my thing was to I still do it, put my 2 feet on the ground, get them nice and solid, and then don't just hop out of bed and be like, whoa, like I like, okay, that's something I can do before I leave for work or before I go anywhere. Take a fucking shower. Do shit, put your hair gel in, like kind of, I wear guy liner, I don't give a fuck. I'll whoop your ass if you think it's gay. And even if it is gay, I'm still doing it. Wear a stripy t-shirt, like do whatever makes you feel good and pretty, or like if you're a girl, pretty, like so pretty awesome. But like just do, because that changes your mental configuration. So when you're walking down the street, you're like, oh shit, I have my nice shoes on, my nice shirt on. Like, I fucking feel good. My hair is kind of cool. Oh, my guy liner's on point or whatever like that.
Yeah, you feel comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, and that's kind of something that I kind of promote. Like, what do you know? What kind of? Because I know from being in Hollywood, like social anxiety was a big thing for me. Because the more I took myself out of kind of drinking, I've never actually done drugs. I realized it was kind of harder to communicate with people. And then just general, like, my own self, kind of like, am I doing the right thing with life, and general worries that cause anyone anxiety. Is it what are the issues?
Like,
what are your issues, Ron?
Well, I haven't had a drink since February.
Yeah, we both sort of decided to
and
give
growing
it a
up,
break.
and like, because I started playing in bands when I was like 15 years old, and everyone was like in their mid-20s in Australia, and alcohol was it being a big part of Australian culture. I like a fish to water. Like, it was always booze for me. Booze was my my safety blanket.
Yeah, I was just
you're double fucked, like, so.
Yeah, but it's but that was my safety blanket. It was my social lubricant, and it was like that was my crutch. And if I didn't drink, like, my anxiety go through the roof.
Yeah.
And dealing, especially in a gig environment, like, I never drink before I played, but afterwards it was my way of. If I was drunk, I welcomed being around lots of people. I wanted to talk to everyone. I loved it. I became that guy that could do that. Sober, it'd be like... And that's been a real adjusting period for me now, is because I haven't had a drink in so long, is like, after I'm done, it's like you don't know what to do with your hands. And it's like you sit there just like...
I pretended to be drunk once after a show.
Yeah.
Because, like, they find out that you're like, oh, you're the Irish guy, so they start buying me Guinness. And I do like Guinness, but just like you... Like, I had a small bottle of Guinness last night, and I had a beer 3 weeks ago, one again, and it might have been 2 months before that I had a beer, and I'm like, just like, it's not really a priority in my life to... And as well as that, chemically, because I'm so entrenched in, like, looking into the anxiety thing and researching what triggers things, like, alcohol is the number one thing that you should never ever fucking have in your body if you're in any way depressed or anxious. Or
it's an amplifier.
It's not a stress reliever. I don't go, it's a stress reliever if you are like, Jesus, like, we had a great gig, man, let's get a fucking beer, fucking nice one, like, just relaxing, that's fine, like, but it's not like kind of, I've had a terrible week, oh my god, I have a headache, I'm like, my life isn't shit, like, I can't wait to get a beer.
You do it and it makes it worse.
I do, trust me.
And it's like, and it's it's tough.
Yeah. And do you think, how are you coping then without drinking after shows and stuff? Or
that's the hardest part. Not that I'm so much craving, it's interacting with drunk people. That's the hardest part, is the, when you're on that wavelength too, you can go with the flow.
Yeah.
And so, but if you're not, you stick out, and then other people get self-conscious. Like, I always joke, the quickest way to get a free drink in Hollywood is tell people you're not drinking.
Yeah.
Because they like, oh, I have to, make me feel better about the fact that please have a drink with me.
Yeah.
But it's, that's the hardest part. As far as everything else in life, it's getting better. Like, I'm playing better, most importantly. That's good. Like, I'm playing better, I'm feeling better, I've got more energy. And at the end of the day, it just leads to bad decisions. I'm not slamming it by any means. Like, I say to my friends, I'm like, dude, have one for me. I wish I could.
Yeah.
But it was just, I could see it becoming destructive. And it was one of those things that it was going to jeopardize everything that I'd come here for.
Yeah.
The problem too I've found with not drinking is that it affects, like, your social life. Like, people always want to invite you out to things, and when you say you're not drinking, they're like, oh, don't worry. Yeah. I've been told I've changed in the past few months, and I'm like, can't we have some tea, or like do something else? I don't care if you drink. I'm happy to go out and be at a gig and be around people. And
I can do that all day.
I can do that all day, like, because I actually enjoy being around music. But if you say you don't drink, I don't know as if they feel offended or they think you think you're better than them.
I don't know, because I did the same thing, and I told one of the bands I was in, like, kind of like, they just knew I was changing. I told them as well. It's like, hey, I'm kind of depressed. This is a few years ago. Just like kind of I'm stopped drinking. I don't want to go out as much, blah, 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 as into drink or anything like that. There's nothing else going on, like whatever, but never got a call, never lost contact. Well, I'm going, is that the basis for my relationship? Is going
is that
boozing?
what your
like,
friendship's founded on?
All right, then I don't want that friendship. And then I did a board, well, it was a board game night originally, like a few months ago, with a bunch of people, and there was like a few people there were drinking a few Coronas. I was alright, but the emphasis was on board games and stuff. And then I kind of took over because I had this game, and everyone got into it, and I was like, this is fucking fun. Like, you know, I can do this. Like, there's like it's just more fun. There's a reason to get together. We have a plan to fucking, if it's to eat dinner or.
And you're more present as well.
Yeah, I'm more present. Like, I don't do because I said it when I moved over here. I tried to explain it to loads of people, and they don't understand. It's like, there's a difference here with drinking culture than there is, I'd say, in Ireland, because like every Saturday in Ireland, the week is done, you'd go out, you'd meet your friends, you would sit around a table like this in a pub with like, there'd be music on, but like, we'd be talking like this, and you'd just be talking, you'd be conversing, you'd be fucking, how are you, hey, fucking great, to come over here and then we'll have a chat, and how's your whatever. And there was beer there, so because we're the social lubricant that makes things flow easier. But it was great because it was conversation. Everyone's laughing and fucking just like dying, crippled from laughing. Like, you know, I'd remember being in pain the next day from just laughing so much. Yeah. And then they come over here, and it's more, you stand in the bar, you get a drink, and you stand there looking at each other. And like, who's that? Who's this? Like, should we stand over here?
Yeah, LA's very interesting like that as well, because it's, you know, and I got a motorcycle here, so when I came here originally, you have to have a set of wheels kind of to get around.
You kind of have to, yeah.
So when I first moved here, and I've always been a bit of a lone wolf, but it was, I'll just go here, I'll go there. I wasn't drinking because I couldn't, because I had the bike. But the nights where I haven't had the bike...
you can drink and drive, don't worry about it.
Oh, fuck off. But comparatively to Australia, and like people, like so many people that are bartenders out here, like Australians are my worst customers. You just don't take no for an answer. And it's the culture in Australia is just... how fucked up can I possibly get?
Like you go out with that intention of getting
it's like, you know, people say, if you black out drink, you have a problem. I'm like, I've been doing that since I was 14.
Yeah. It's just
like,
normal.
it's normal, and
that's every
if you
weekend,
don't, if you don't do it, it's like, you know, well, I didn't even have a fucking drink with the boys. What are you, two fucking good friends?
Yeah.
You know,
that was my last 2 years in Ireland, because it was the same as you. Like, I did every piece of work I could do to save money, and then when Saturday night rolled around, I'd walk up into my room, because I lived in a house with a bunch of people, just lock my door and let them all go out, and I wouldn't even go down until they're all gone, because it's the weekend.
Yeah,
we're going out. I was like, and I purposely say I have no money. Like,
and for me, I was DJing at the Rock Bar in Sydney, so I had a freaking bar tab.
Oh no!
I'm playing the music. There's people up in my face, so it was like, again, the motorcycle. I had a bike there. That's what, if I'd ride, I wouldn't drink.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'd, give my friends the tab or whatever. Pussy. But it's one of those... I was about to say, but don't get me wrong, there's the nights I didn't bring the bike.
No.
Where it's just like...
No, that...
You probably remember better than I do. You were there.
I'm only joking about, like, that's something... The drinking and driving is unforgivable.
It is. It's fucked.
Man, this...
And people here will do it more readily than they will in Australia.
God.
It's like some of my friends that are actors here, Australian actors, they've gone, like, be very careful on the bike. It's like a sport to some people.
Yeah.
Whereas in Australia, it's like, here's my car keys, don't let me near my car, because I'm getting paralytic.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's like, I'm fine. It's 2 bottles of wine, mate.
Yeah, I've done that. I've been in cars, like, because, again, you don't really know the difference, and if you're in a car without knowing the person, like, oh, where are we going? Well, we're going to another bar. He goes, where have you been? I have 4 bars. I'm like...
Get me out of this car.
Yeah, you're driving a fucking car,
on the freeway, doing like 20 over the limit.
Yeah, get the fuck out. And I, like, to me, hey, without sounding like a liberal Miss Nancy, you know, like, don't drink and drive. It's fucking dangerous.
Exactly.
Like, that's like walking around with a loaded gun with the thing cocked back and then walking around with it in your mouth. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, you're going to kill yourself or someone else. Like, that's fucking dangerous. Like, so.
And that's the funny thing, doing what we do in the music industry, the rock, it's not cool to... not be the drunk guy. It's not cool to, be faithful to your missus. It's not cool. Yeah. And it's fuck that, I'm doing things... the reason I got into this is personal freedom. I want to do things my way.
Yeah.
If people don't have a problem with that, then fuck.
And there's you just brought up interesting things as well. Like, the the misconstrued perception of like, oh, I want to be I'm
the dogma of like, what are you supposed to be?
Yeah. It's like kind of like, oh well, we'll exactly like that. Do the drugs, do the lines of coke with Ron Jeremy and the Rainbow off the big titted hooker. Meanwhile, slam fucking 17 shots of Jack, wash down with a pint of vodka, and then go to an after party in the Hollywood Hills. I'm like, well, I haven't actually done that, but I've been around all that and been at that, and I'm going, this is not for me. And guess what? Yeah. None of these people are doing diddly fucking jack shit. Like, so, what's going on here? Like, where's the? I understand there's stories, but guess what? It's not 1982 anymore. Motley Crue are all dying of liver failure. Like Tommy Lee looks pretty healthy, but whatever. Like, you know, like it's kind of like that doesn't sound like that life is going to give me any kind of longevity in any way, shape, or form.
That's it. And that lifestyle can, you know, I'm not going to say I was doing that verbatim. But it's one of those things that but you wake up one day and you find yourself doing all these things you swore you'd never do. And my mantra before I moved here, and that's something I say to a lot of people that do want to move here, it's like, always remind yourself every day of why I came here in the first place. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Because it's so easy to get lost in everything else, and you wake up one day doing things that you're like, why am I doing this? But I was beginning to function in an environment where it's like, you know, I was playing, you know, I played guitar for Richie Ramone from the Ramones.
That's really cool.
No one else in the band was drinking. Like, Richie drinks a bit, but the other guys don't.
Yeah.
So I was getting the entire fucking rider every night. So we were on the road from April to Christmas. So it's like, and, you know, as long as you play the show right and play your parts right, and you're not like, no one asks any questions. And it's, you know, I'm not complaining about that for 1 second, but it was one of those things that I got back to Sydney and had downtime after doing this world tour.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was going out and drinking as much as I was on the road, and it was like half a month's fucking rent. It's just like...
And it's Tuesday.
I spent... Exactly. And it's just like... And I'm blacking. And it's like, I could see things becoming... And I was, you know, it's like... It's not a productive kind of environment. It's destructive more than anything else. And like you brought something very interesting up earlier, is... I was becoming depressed.
Yeah.
Alcohol's a depressant, and a lot of people don't realize that. If you have anything in your chemical makeup that is going to be geared towards that... Alcohol is like a gain knob on a Marshall turning it to 10. You will find yourself miserable.
Yeah, you will not be waking up happy. That's for sure.
And you know, and the decisions you'll make will push you even further in that direction.
Yeah.
But and again, I'm not saying don't drink and don't party. I'm just saying, you know, that's kind of what led me to this conclusion. It was just like, wasn't living the dream. I was living the cliche.
Yeah.
I was waking up and just going like, why am I doing this because it's fun, or am I doing it because I think it's what I'm supposed to? And everyone around you's like, yeah, man, that's awesome. And then you're like,
everybody,
I'm fucking miserable.
Dude, I would love to like a comic book, like, because I see all the look. I'm not bashing on everyone. Everyone needs a hobby, and everyone needs to like. It's the inherent human need to feel tribal. Like, so it's like kind of like, well, I'm part of a gang. I'm part of this, and I'm, just like you actually said. I actually said it in my last podcast. I like being alone. I like fucking. I love hanging out with my girlfriend. Like, there you go. I asked you to bring her along. Fuck, who cares? Like, it's like, because just that's who I like hanging out with. And then I like being alone as well when I'm driving around, just listening to my own head, my voice in my head, or just listening to podcasts where just like I'm comfortable. Like, I don't need stimulation from or acknowledgement from a group of people. That's like, hey, everybody pile into this picture. We're all here at this certain venue, and everybody make a cool face. I'm like, all right, that's cool, but I would love to see like the speech bubble, what they're thinking.
Yeah,
in all their heads. There'd be somebody's like, oh god, I fucking hate my life. Or like, or I know my boyfriend's cheating on me, or something like that. He's like, God, I can't wait to fuck that chick over there. I hope my girlfriend doesn't find out. You're like, okay, what the hell? Like.
It's true though. It's very, you know.
I look at people's social medias and everything like that, and it's almost easy to decipher a kind of what their life is.
Projections are very, like, I always say it's like, I'm not sure if it's people are arrogant in the sense that they underestimate other people's intelligence. It's like I always say, when a bad situation happens, where something doesn't go your way. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up as well. When it comes to, you know, working here and success, you have to be able to embrace failure.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can't handle that. It's like embracing failure is a really good thing.
I would show you the tattoo on my belly, but I got a jiggly belly, and all it says strive, struggle, succeed, repeat until achieved.
Yeah.
And
that's very
so
true.
far I'm just striving and struggling all the time. But like, who cares?
Yeah. Well, it's like when situations go bad for me, and you sit and you're allowed to be pissed off. You sit there and go, fuck, didn't fucking work, fucking shit, fuck.
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, you take a deep breath and you go, I hope that for not only my sake but everyone else's, that I remind myself people have the ability to make their own mind up on things, see the forest for the trees, and put two and two together for themselves.
Yeah.
If you go out there,
you'd be shocked.
If you go out there flying the flag and being all like, "This is what happened. Just I have to get my opinion in. Just to I have to stand up for myself or whatever." 9 times out of 10, you're making yourself look like a goose.
Yeah.
And it's
a silly goose.
But it's also it can be people can perceive things for themselves. Like how many times is someone else goes in and throws their 2 cents on the table, and it's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Is that what admission of guilt is this?
Yeah.
Little things like that. And that relates back to the social situation you were talking about. It's like, why that person do that?
Yeah, it was like, it's what you said earlier about like writing a comment and coming back and deleting it, and like people are, you get this thing online as well. It's kind of like you're being a pussy if you're trying to take back your words. No, I actually in the few hours that went by, I grew up and I went, oh, I'm an idiot. Shit, like, and it's a self-admittance of like...
And once it's out there, it is out there. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, cool, call me whatever you want, man.
Yeah, I look, I've made a mistake and, fuck, like, I know I've paid the price. Because, like, the thing, I think, maybe this is like the therapy or something coming out of me, or maybe I don't know if this is even right. I think you need a balance of emotions as well. So for as much as you're happy, it is important to be angry sometimes, or like vent it.
Be sad, be miserable.
Dude,
how can you appreciate the good things if you don't?
I don't believe in God, but your God-given right to be miserable. It's like you are allowed, and I tell anyone, it's like, if something happens and you need 2 days to be a fucking complete piece of shit and be crying or be a prick to everybody,
go for it.
Just go for it. Like, try not to drag everyone down. That's my my thing. I'm like,
it's a lot healthier than sit there being like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Everybody in for the selfie.
My life is perfect.
Yeah. Smiling through your thing. Oh, you fucking pricks. Like I think like I do think you can teach old dogs new tricks. So if there are older people that do listen, or my age, or like older, we're like, especially in this new world of online stuff, but especially the young people, because I think of them as like I didn't grow up in an age of like cell phones, and like able to easily it's so easy to put an opinion out there, like kind of just regurgitate this nonsensical
without consequences,
dude.
Like it's crazy.
I talk about this with so Ashley, who my girlfriend's also a singer in she's a pretty big band, a pretty reputable band. And I read some of the comments and stuff that are on some of her social media sometimes, and I'm like, people get offended so fucking easily when they get called out of like, well, you can't say that, like, kind of, or like I get tagged in pictures of her and other dudes, like kind of like
people like trying to steal the pod.
Yeah, I'm like going, why the fuck would I, like, for starters, she doesn't date that person, like him getting tagged with a girl in, kind of like, oh, like, he's that bitch is dead. But it's just like people going, you understand there are consequences to what you're doing, and you do realize
this isn't a game.
It's not a reality TV. It's not TV.
Yeah.
Like, these are real people's lives you're fucking with, and that's what they don't realize. Trying to,
like, so like, you don't fuck. No one fucks with my life. I'm sorry. Like,
well, no, but if you if you have that mentality and you say no one's gonna fuck with my life, they can't.
Yeah, but
whatever you choose to let in, and it affects you accordingly.
Yeah. And that's the funniest part, when you do know that someone out there's trying to stir the pot. You're like, oh, honey,
yeah.
Like you think this is the worst thing that I've experienced. It's like, what do I say? It's like, if no one's overdosed, no one's pregnant, no one's trying to kill me, I'm having a good day.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. All right, let's go.
So, but it's is this an extreme life-changing event? I know that that can be taken, but it is. It's is this problem actually going to change the course of my life? No, it's inconvenient. It's a speed bump.
Yeah.
And it's like, reality check. A lot of these kids that have that they haven't lived enough to experience that. So it's like, oh, the sky is falling. It's like, no, someone just doesn't like you.
Yeah, that's all.
Sticks and stones. Who gives a fuck, dude?
I don't even think they know that one. Like, that's the funny one.
Yeah,
because like it's so fucking easy.
He hit me. Oh, let's get you a therapist. Fuck it, hit it back.
Yeah. Hey, there's a brick over there. Go use it. Like, Jesus, quit being a pussy. Like, geez, like I grew up all my life being bullied. Like, and
I used to get stuffed in lockers in high school, man.
Dude, me too.
Yeah, but there you go.
And it
half Irish ginger. Oh, okay.
Yeah, half Irish,
living
half
in
Indian
Blacktown.
Fuck, I know hope.
But I'm glad you brought that up, because this is something that we discuss a lot, and I hated being bullied. Like, I hated it, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. but it taught me to be thick-skinned.
Wouldn't change it for the world.
In hindsight, I wouldn't change it because it's one of those things that's why we are where we are. Mm-hmm. That's why we do what we do. And it's one of those things that when someone does try and throw something at me out there and today, I'm like, heard it. Like, it's like, is that the best you got? Like, there's nothing you can say that I haven't already heard or I don't say to myself when I look in the mirror. So, like, better luck next time, honey.
And there's the thing as well, because I get, like, I know the majority of them are kids that send me in, because I ask if anyone has any questions that I want to talk about on a podcast on my own, let's talk about it. They'll send me in shit, and it's like, how do you deal with that, and insecurities, and bullying, and all like that? It's like, the fact of the matter is, man, why it hurts so much is, yes, like, you do feel sometimes self-deprecating, you're like, oh man, I'm kind of fat, like, and then someone goes, yeah, you fat fucker. I'm like, oh my God, it's been validated. Yeah. It's not validated at all. That person doesn't even matter. Like, and so what? You're kind of fat. Like, go lose some weight. Like, and I'm not being a dick in saying this. It's just like, I believe we live in a world and we live a life that, like, it's made of choices. And you have, unless you're like dying in a deathbed. Like, I talked about this the other day about someone's like, how do you deal with the anxiety thing, or how are you dealing with it? I goes, I started going back to the gym, and guess what? 3 days later, I actually felt better because I understood the chemical makeup was changing. Yeah. I felt a little bit more confident. The perspective of it was different. It goes, you have a choice to step outside and go for a walk. The fact that you don't, that's your downfall.
Things happen in life because we make a decision.
Yeah, it's all your decisions. Like, and the fact that, like, just like you said, someone says something, yeah, I've heard it before. Again, like, Ashley says it to me a lot. He goes like, wow, nothing seems to bother you. No, why should anything bother me? Like, it's fucking... Why? Like, it's a fucking irrelevant, pointless point that someone that is irrelevant in my life is trying to, like, get a piece of my fucking awesomeness or whatever. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, so yeah, I know I have a jiggly belly and my haircut's fucking stupid and I'll never get a job in a bank. Like, these are like, what the fuck? These are all, as well as that, I can barely work a calculator. That's another reason why I won't get a job in a bank. But it's like, I don't care. Like, these are like my
and when people do react, it's because it's close to the bone, because you've hit a raw nerve, because it's true.
Yeah, it is true.
And it's one of those things that I've had those when you spit the dummy and you're like, you get angry and you're like, I'm overreacting because that person, there was some truth in what that person said. And then am I going to overreact and lash out at people around me, or am I going to take a deep breath and maybe self-reflect and learn something and then perhaps better myself?
Where does that come? Because, like, there's the question I can't answer, and I just know I have it. It's like, where does that confidence stem from? Or is it like you just said a minute ago, like, it's just the chain of events that have happened that we wouldn't change because it made us this way? Like, because I feel like there's nothing. You seem like a pretty confident dude, like, so I don't really feel I could make you cry by talking to you, which is a really good thing, which makes me feel happier, because that way I don't have to be careful. And there is literally nothing anyone could say or do to in any way offend me. What the fuck are they gonna? I joke about it, and like even Ashley's like, don't say things like that, but it's like, what? Like, are people going to threaten to kill and rape my entire family? Go ahead. Like, you're not going to do it, so shut up. Like, what? Like, where do you think?
I think that confidence comes from being real with yourself, and like, if you understand your flaws and the things you need to work on, and you also understand what you're good at, there's nothing anyone can say.
Yeah.
If someone wants to point out what you already know, then it doesn't matter. And you're always progressing as a human being. You're never there yet, and that's the great thing about it. You're always learning, and as you said before, people and experiences are in your life for a reason, and you don't take that for granted. The bad shit, the good shit, it always gets you one step further, and that's really important.
Because when I have analysed the last, say, 20 years of my life, I can, say, trace 90% of where I source all anxiety in my life from, and I'm like, would I go back and change any of it? Nah.
I've done it. We discuss this all the time, and I go, as much as, like, certain things suck, and you go, like, I made a lot of those, not all of them, but majority of those decisions, I made them because I thought that was the right thing to do at that time. I didn't know that the ramifications would be that, or be that, that had become these stigmas in life, but I made that choice because it made sense, and would I do it again? Most of the time I look at the situations, yes.
Yeah, fuck it, like, so.
And it is what it is. And again, the younger generation, everyone being told that they're special and they're good at everything. Jim Jeffries says it. It's like, how do you know what you're good at if someone tells you you're good at fucking everything? The way I progressed at my instrument was the same way that you'd progress in a studio. You hire a producer, someone in there to basically professionally be an asshole to you
Yeah.
to tell you what to do
I love it.
to get better, and I love it. I
Yeah.
welcome it. Like, you know,
That's where I'm going right after this.
whether it's like someone correcting a boxer's technique to anything, you need. That's how you improve.
Yeah.
If everyone just goes, "Oh, everything's great, you're perfect."
No,
it's like,
but
how are you gonna get better?
You get the participation award.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? Like, everybody gets a gold medal. What do you
I
think?
ran in a
just like
race.
there's like the participation for album sales out there in the charts. And
Oh my
the
God.
participation, you know what I mean? The Participation Academy Award.
Yeah.
Like, welcome to real life. There are winners and losers, and if you don't self-reflect and work hard, someone out there that does is going to kick your ass.
Yeah, and I'm that guy. I'm gonna whoop
Yeah.
your fucking ass. Like, no, but now, like 20 years ago, yes, I would have been, or like 5 fucking years ago, I am the guy that is losing and losing and losing. And I'm like going, but the thing is, there's nothing fucking. I've said this a million times. There's nothing wrong with losing.
Exactly. There's
There's
nothing wrong
with failing.
It's
like,
just not your time right now. If you give up now,
and it might never be your time.
yeah, it
but
might, but you're not going to know if you don't try.
yeah, exactly.
And if you give up, then you're never going to know.
Yeah, I actually said that. I was ranting by myself the other day, and I was like, "Fuck it!" Like the best thing in the morning, the battle, the anxiety thing or depression thing for me was just realizing I have a dream to work towards, something to fucking
long-term goals, things to
just
look
something to wake
forward
up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
Really
and
important.
guess what? Just get up and do it. And then I was like, even if you're not good at it, actually, and then I was like, actually, you know what? Maybe you're not good at it, and maybe you're never going to be good at it, but. Fuck it, who cares? Just get up and do it. Like, who gives a shit? Like, so, and this whole fucking pussyfooting about, like, well, if I'm doing it wrong, well, then I'll be crap at it and everyone will judge me.
So what?
Yeah, you know, what's the best part of what's that TV show, American Idol or X Factor? The best part of that TV show is the first few episodes.
Oh,
Everyone's
yeah.
fucking up.
Yeah.
Guess what? That's the best part. Like, so, and like, that for me is the best part as well. It's like kind of like stumbling and falling and even like speaking of like just making mistakes and all like that, I actually stopped doing all music projects over the last 6 months to a year. Some of them fell by the wayside or just stopped doing it anyway, and I was really happy about it because I was like, I'm just going to do everything myself now. I'm going to get one of my best friends who is a producer as well, like, to just abuse me, sit in his chair and let's write stuff and like just fucking
Be ruthless.
ruthless.
Yeah.
Fucking no pussyfooting about it. Like, let's do this the right way for a change. Like, so without like, because it's so, dude, when you're dealing with so many, if it is egos or just like sensitive musicians or whatever the fuck, like, you have to be so careful. With, like,
Yeah.
it's like, well, it's not good enough because I know I can't say that. Sorry. Maybe if we try something. No, man, it's fucking shy.
Yeah.
Do it again, and like that's my fucking. I like that, and I
You
like.
need it. You do.
Well, you do need it, and like that. So let's like just. This is where I don't agree with this person, but like, so the current president of the United States, the only fucking fun thing about him is he does actually shoot from the hip in that kind of situation, or he does call it in that kind of regard. I do not like this person. I don't agree with anything. If we could take anything good from a bad situation,
That's a good way of looking at it. Actually.
that's all I'm trying to do here. So before anyone's like, he fucking fucking hates guns and loves Trump and fucking doesn't smoke. What the hell's wrong? He's like, no, I don't at all. Like, it's just like say we're in a bad situation, so let's learn something from it. What do we learn from it? It's like, well, it turns out when you talk out loud and fucking say your fucking your piece or
It
opinion.
turns out everyone else is thinking a lot of the same thing too, and they can relate to it. And that's how he won the all the time. He speaks his mind. It's like, dude, the crazy freaking homeless guy on the street speaks his mind too. I'm
Yeah,
not voting
what
for
do you
him.
think he's doing, shouting up and down the street? Like,
But at the same time, it's like it's giving of people go, I can relate to that because I feel the same way too. And more often than not, when you talk about things like anxiety, depression, the amount of people you know that go, dude, I didn't say anything, but I actually feel this. The amount of people that come out of the woodwork,
Everyone.
and it's crazy how many people are like, dude, I experienced the same thing.
yeah.
Why didn't you say anything? Oh, because I didn't. You're not alone.
No, yeah. As we look into the camera, like, you're not alone. But like, I grew up in
Number pops to the bottom.
Yeah. You're not alone. Lights beaming.
Yeah.
But I grew up in a culture of that as well. It's like where you should be embarrassed of it, and it's like kind of like. I remember, yeah, like 20 years ago, broken family, mother, very depressed. She's awesome now. She'd like kill everybody, like physically. She would murder people if she thought anything was wrong with me. But back then it was like she went through an ordeal, and obviously as teenage kids and like all of us, we experienced difficulties in life and fucking. But dude, I'm from a rock in the middle of an ocean. Like, so no one ever talked about it. Don't fucking talk about it. Don't say you've because it's a mental illness.
The sign of weakness.
The sign of weakness. The wolves will come out and eat you. Well, guess
Yeah.
what? The wolves are insecure as well. Like, so, and guess what? The wolves travel in packs. separate all those motherfuckers and we'll kill all them as well. Like, so it's like this bullshit. That's why I actually got really comfortable with being alone. Yeah. And I liked hearing you saying like, well, I'm good on my own. I'm a fucking one-man wolf pack or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, well, guess what? Don't need anyone. I can defend myself, whether it be verbally. It doesn't have to be physical, because that's a potluck situation. Like, so anyone can win a fight. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, so Bob will tell you about that shit. Like, so, like, it only takes one punch and you're out. Like, but like, to be in command of yourself and your ego and your self-esteem and your personality and your curiosity, which goes back to what we were talking about at the very start. It's just like, you're allowed fucking ask questions. You're allowed to be curious. You're allowed to say whatever the fuck you want. Don't be a blatant racist, obviously, or there's a difference between going, again, like, I just say fat person. I used to be chubby, so I got bullied for being fat, so I'm allowed to say that, okay? Yeah. Like, it's just like, hey, look at that fat guy over there, because I always think, like, Jesus, like, I wonder what the fuck, I get curious. What are they eating? Do they know what they're doing to their bodies? Instead of, hey, look at that fat fucker over there, everybody. Ha 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 ha. No, that's being a bully. You're being a dick. There's nothing being learned about that. In my house that I live in, because there's people in my house, I intentionally read out the ingredients on the soda cans, just so everybody knows there's 47 grams of sugar in this, and they're like, you're only meant to have about 25 if a day. And then I noticed over the months, the people in my house, like, there's less soda, everyone's happier. They're like, it's like, this is just information, everybody. I'm not being like, oh, you fucking stupid prick, stop eating chocolate. Like, no, it's like, hey, just so you know, here's some information, like, we can all learn from it. Here's some information on anxiety. It's education. Dare I say, and I'm by no means a gynecologist, so I'm not that smart, like, but it's just like give me a break here. Like, that's just the biggest word I know. Wheelbarrow, marmalade, 2 big words right there.
Yeah.
But it's just like, there is no harm in asking questions. There's no harm in being curious. Just like,
yeah, well, the number one way to usually get what you want is to ask for it.
Yeah.
And be it anything, be it, the apple on the table over there, or knowledge.
That's actually,
there's no shame in putting your hand up and going, I don't understand something.
I do it all the time.
That's how you learn, and especially being an immigrant here, and being handed this whole culture that it's kind of like, I get part of it, but I don't understand. I'd have to be like, can someone explain this to me?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Why the hell is the main meal called an entree when an entree is an entree?
Yeah.
And then why is my entree so big? That means main meal here. Oh, why? We don't really know. Okay, cool.
Yeah. what's up with Bud Light? I don't get it. So no, there's like, no, but there's like, you're allowed to ask fucking questions.
It's like, you're not coming from a place of malicious intent. You genuinely want it, and then there's like, you can't ask that question. It's like, well, if I've asked it in a polite way, I don't see how it's disrespectful.
There's the thing I've learned as well, because it can come across as because as well as like, I just want, if I want to know something, I'm just going to ask it, and I'm going to ask it my way, so I'm comfortable. Hey, what the fuck is that thing over there?
Yeah.
Like, he relax, man. It goes, relax what? What's the fucking thing over there? Like, he goes, well, why are you so... I'm not being aggressive. Like, this is
why
just...
you Aussies have to swear in every sentence?
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, fucking hell. I mean...
shit. Crap. Like, so...
Excuse me, where's the bathroom?
Oh, yeah, it's right there. Like, so... I think Mikey's in it. Like, so... Get over there. Like, so... Toilet break. Well, it's an hour 37. We can wrap...
Now he's finally gone.
Yeah. Fucking prick.
That guy.
What's with that guy's tattoos?
I don't know who he is, man.
Yeah, but I kind of like just got a mouthful of shit in that whole hour and fucking 40 minutes of conversation. Like, so, I don't know what else to talk about anymore. Ronnie ruined it all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding. No, you're joking. Like, so, but I know I am going to wrap it up if that's cool. Like,
okay,
so I don't want to keep you.
Yeah, it's all good. Full of coffee now.
No, me too. I know. I'm just getting used to sitting here for ages.
Yeah.
Is there any? So I just want to wrap it up. Is there any gigs or tours you're doing, or where your social media is and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, like my website, www.ronniesimmons.com.au. About to go hit the road in late June with Richie Ramone. We'll be doing all of
awesome.
We've been working with Richie since April last year, so it's like, I'll show you my back actually.
Oh god,
I'm pretty proud of it. Like the Ramones are my favorite band.
Holy shit!
Like,
we got it. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been playing guitar with him since the start of last year, and we toured the world, and we're going back out June until our wedding in August. Pretty much.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah.
The US, and then we're going to the UK and doing Rebellion Festival, and then Scandinavia, and then I go back to Australia. and we're also working on something ourselves.
Oh, cool. Music stuff.
Yeah, Siobha is a shit hot
I
singer.
play the music.
Dude, the band name should be just Siobha, just to confuse everybody. I'm just saying.
Oh my god, no! I tried that and it didn't work.
Hey, I'm going to Shiaban. That's cool. Oh, no, and I just want to thank you as well, because I wanted to get to know you a little bit as well. It was cool. Like,
it's a great way to get to know each other.
Yeah,
right?
we should go do a shit ton of drugs and beer right now. Like, so,
Let's
we should
do it.
snort some marijuanas and fucking just get high as fucking Skittles, like so, or whatever the fucking M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms, like so.
Mainline sugar.
Yeah, and as shitty as I start the podcast, I end it shittily as well. So I don't know how to end it. But if you are interested in Ronnie and his missus, like so, put up the link for your website and stuff. And if you're a fan of, I guess, old punk and the Ramones and stuff, go see him on tour. All in the US or worldwide?
US and then UK and then Scandinavia.
Awesome.
And then I'll be out of action until probably around late October.
And then it's getting hitch time.
Yeah, and then it's getting hitch time and then coming back.
Awesome, sweet.
But,
yeah. No,
this has been really cool because usually, like, you know, it's the interview where it's like, all right, here's the career stuff, and it's been nice to actually just talk like a normal.
Oh man, we didn't talk about career. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's nice because you know it's a different, you know.
I just thought
it's liberating. That's the term.
No, and like the aim of it, even with all the other ones, it's just to talk to people in a long form conversation with no plan. Get to know each other's personalities a bit, just to see, like, am I only thinking this is like, and just like you said, it was really important that you said it. It's like, Jesus, so many people are thinking the things that we're talking about, and I would like to personally break the taboo of like kind of the rock stardom, the drugs and alcohol thing that is like, let's humanize this a little bit. Guess what? Like, I'm a normal fucking person that just really likes fucking rocking out and music and being aggressively crazy on stage and just living my life.
We watch documentaries and feed each other Nutella. You know?
That's all. Yeah. Veggie chips and fucking chocolate bars. Cocoa chocolate bars, or me and the missus, Netflix and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we'll drink you under the table.
No, we're about to go snort marijuana. Like, so, two marijuanas each, and we'll be high as fuck. I don't even know what that fucking means. I'm sorry, but there's anyone listening, young, old, being born, nearly dead, whatever. Like, there's just like, ask questions, be curious. I don't give a fuck. I don't really care for comments, but if you want to comment, put them in the box below. I just want everyone to be kind of happy and cool, and don't be offended, don't be a pussy,
and be able to laugh at yourself.
That's really important.
At yourself.
But when you're finished crying, go laugh at yourself. That's what I would go tell everybody. Like, so, and I think you'll live a happier life as well, a healthier one. So I guess this is Ronnie. This is Siobhan. I'm Jimmy Trigger. My coffee's gone. Thanks for listening. It's nap time, and this is the Triggerman podcast. Peace. All right. Now we can pee.
First come, first serve.
Hey, peace so bad.